It's hard to believe that one of television's most trusted news programs, the show that shaped journalism for over half a century, was once just one shocking decision away from vanishing forever. For decades, 60 Minutes stood as a symbol of truth, integrity, and fearless reporting. But behind the cameras and polished interviews, there was turmoil, power struggles, lawsuits, and internal chaos that nearly brought the legendary show crashing down. So, what really happened? How did America's most iconic news program almost disappear? Let's take a look at the scandal, the politics, and the betrayal that almost ended 60 Minutes for good. When 60 Minutes first premiered in 1968, few could have predicted it would revolutionize television journalism. The show's creators, Don Hewitt and Mike Wallace, took a huge risk by blending hard-hitting investigative reports with dramatic storytelling. Viewers had never seen anything like it. It wasn't just the news, it was theater. Every episode pulled back the curtain on corruption, power, and secrets that others were too afraid to expose. But as 60 Minutes grew into a national institution, so did the egos behind it. Inside CBS, the show's success sparked internal rivalries and resentment. Executives questioned whether its bold reporting was worth the constant controversy it attracted. The trouble truly began in the late 1990s, when 60 Minutes aired one of the most controversial stories in its history: the explosive report exposing Big Tobacco. The segment featured whistleblower Jeffrey Wigand, a former executive who revealed that cigarette companies were intentionally manipulating nicotine levels to keep people addicted. It was a bombshell that could have changed the entire industry, and it nearly destroyed 60 Minutes. CBS executives panicked, fearing billion-dollar lawsuits. They ordered the story to be pulled, sparking outrage among the show's journalists. The newsroom turned into a battlefield. Veteran reporter Mike Wallace and producer Lowell Bergman clashed with CBS lawyers and executives, accusing them of betraying the very principles the show stood for. The scandal erupted into national headlines, and viewers began to wonder, was 60 Minutes selling out? As the backlash grew, CBS found itself trapped between its corporate interests and journalistic integrity. The network's credibility took a major hit, and inside sources later revealed that CBS seriously considered canceling 60 Minutes altogether to protect itself from further damage. For a brief, terrifying moment, the unthinkable seemed possible: the end of the most respected news program in America. The show that had exposed presidents, corporations, and global scandals was about to become a casualty of its own courage. But 60 Minutes didn't go quietly. The journalists fought back on air and behind the scenes. Mike Wallace and the late Ed Bradley refused to compromise their integrity. Don Hewitt, the show's creator, stood firm against CBS executives and demanded editorial independence. Their defiance paid off. When the suppressed tobacco story eventually aired, the public response was overwhelming. Viewers rallied behind 60 Minutes, praising its courage to tell the truth no matter the cost. The scandal that nearly killed the show ended up saving it today. 60 Minutes continues to air decades after that near-fatal controversy. It remains one of the longest-running and most respected programs in television history. But few know how close it came to being canceled forever. The internal wars, the lawsuits, and the corporate fear nearly erased a piece of American journalism history. In the end, 60 Minutes survived because of one simple reason: its commitment to truth. And that truth, as the show has always reminded us, can never be silenced.